right? For those who have been red-pilled and who've gone through the torture of being red-pilled and are now desperately encouraging others to take the red pill, I'm going to give you a white pill. Does that exist? But anyway, in my mind, the white pill is a dose of real hope. So that's what I'm going to do with today's video. Now, let me put it like this. People are listening to us. People are changing their behaviours. People are opening their eyes. Now, you wouldn't think so sometimes from interactions that I see on various groups where it's mainly doom and gloom. What I want to say is, get out there, right? Seriously, get out there and just really watch carefully how people are interacting, how people are behaving, and note it. You will notice as well that so many more people are asking those questions. I've seen it with my own eyes. I can feel when I'm in work, friends and family, interactions and conversations with people around me, neighbours, the people are listening to me. I've noticed it for a few months. Last few weeks, they really are. Our work is starting to be rewarded. This is the dose of optimism. This is the dose of hope, and it is coming from a tangible viewpoint, a tangible experience, something real. Things are starting to shift in our direction. Now, let me say, I am not being naive here. I don't think I'm a naive person. We have many battles still ahead of us. But the thing that needed to happen before anything else was for people to get red-pilled, to open their eyes like we have and acknowledge the reality of this world. That's what's starting to happen. Now, here's what I want to say. As I said a little bit earlier on, I'm seeing too many people in the awakened movement who are just drowning in negativity. Understandable that was up to a point, as we were all stunned and shocked and appalled by what we were seeing. But right now, what's the point? Why? I would suggest choose carefully when we're going to be angry. Choose carefully when we're going to allow ourselves to be absorbed by that negativity. Or not even choose, but when it happens, because you would never choose to be angry or allow yourself to be immersed in negativity. When it happens, we've got to pay really close attention to why it's happening, and then do everything we can to then focus on raising that energy within ourselves first, and then project it out into the world. Because these people who are currently undergoing the traumatic process that we went through, well, they need our support. Do you remember what it was like, or what it still feels like? As I always say, I'm not fully awake. Only God, if he exists, is awake. The rest of us, we're waking up. We'll never be fully awake. However, what we are doing is reevaluating our viewpoints on this world, reorientating ourselves in this world of good and evil, terrible, corrupt, satanic evil. Well, these people now, all they are is a little bit later on the journey than us. There were people who were earlier on the journey than me. They need our support. This is our time now. So, are we going to make the decision, if we're all in agreement that potential end of times may be upon us? Well, what's the point in just repeating what we already know? Now, there is something massive at the moment. I wish I could say what I really think about the vaccine in inverted commas and what is planned for September. You all know what I'm talking about. Now, the way I look at it is that, yes, with regard to this topic, keep sharing that info, keep putting the pressure on parents to present the other side of the story. The adults now, if they've still got their heads completely buried in the sand, they've had the chance, right? With regard to waking people up with regard to a procedure that their children may be undergoing, and making sure that they make the right decision, absolutely, with a nod to that, yes, 100% we need to do. But even that can be framed in positive light with its questions. It's getting people to ask questions. We can't keep going on the attack all the time. But you'll surely know people now in your life who are just starting to open their eyes a little bit. They may have regretted certain things that they've already done. Which brings me to the next point. I think we need to let go of some of the paranoia that I notice. Now, I'm personally, as you know, exempt from wearing a mask. Never worn one, never will. As you know, I'm declining to take the vaccine, in inverted commas. And I don't have to, because I'm not being made to. And I'll ignore the coercement and the pressure, and I can deal with that, and that's fine. But we need to remember that if we're gonna make that difference, if we're gonna bring people to the light side, the time for shouting at them and for bombarding them with information, for saying, why can't you see what I can see, all the time, that's gone now. Don't get me wrong, I still have days where I will say, how can you not see it? But doing it all the time, what's the point? What's the point? So I want to say, let's stop mindlessly sharing the same information all the time. Let's start creating our own experience. Let's start, I always say create, don't curate. Create, don't regurgitate. Write a blog, do a video, but just sharing stuff all the time. We've all seen it, and even if it's new, it's based on the same themes. Our job now, we know what we're up against. We've all got slightly different views about who the enemy are and exactly what we're up against. We all know, right? Our job now, though, is to be the leaders, is to provide the energy, is to drag people along with us, kicking and screaming until they're no longer kicking and screaming with us and they're in the foxhole with us. That's our job now. This is a race against time, quite clearly, and we are reaching a critical point. So don't choose negativity and fear. Don't do what they're doing. I see sometimes nearly as much fear in the awakened group as I do with the ones who are, as we term, asleep. Particularly with regard to what may happen being surrounded by people who've had the jab. Well, let's be honest. Tens of millions of people in this country have had it. Are we really going to say we don't want to be anywhere near them because of something that may happen? Maybe it will. That to me is they've made their decision. We've tried our best to educate them. They've decided to ignore us. That's their decision. Are we really now gonna live in fear ourselves to such an extent where we're going to plan our lives so that we're never going to be around these people? Now, that's just, for me, that's just as bad. Because we're projecting the worst case scenario. And I wish I could tell you my views, my real views on this, but I will get censored. I am appalled and shocked and think it's deplorable. All of it. I think you know what I think. But that's not for the purposes of this video. If we win this war, it will be the most heroic victory ever in the history of human civilization. It will be a defeat of the greatest tyranny that's ever existed. And it will be a removal of the biggest threat ever. A threat not just of tyranny, but a threat to what being human actually is. The human experience, humanity itself. Tyranny always rises and falls. This time, if we lose, it's here to stay forever, ever, forever. So we are in a race against time. So why live in fear now? Remain defiant. These people who, to their credit now, the ones who are changing their mind, who've been red-pilled, credit to them. So what if we think it's too late? So what? People probably looked at the likes of me and thought, fucking idiot, how can't he see it? Until I woke up. It's just the same thing. So, like I say, I genuinely see. Now another thing, a lot of people have this date, the 21st of June, in mind. A lot of people pin their hopes on it. Yeah, I'm sure I knew, and I'm sure most of you watching this knew that was never going to happen. Of course it wasn't. It's not part of the agenda, is it? But a lot of people have pinned their hopes on this. And a lot of people are saying, no, we've done everything we've been asked to. Yeah, they're naive, yeah. We've done everything we've been asked to, and that's it, game over on the 21st. We are going back to normal because that's what we were promised. Maybe let's not say, don't be naive. Maybe let's encourage them. Encourage them to be courageous and to follow through on what they're saying they're going to do. I.e., we've done everything we were asked to do, and now we're going to take all of our old freedoms back. Let's encourage them to do that. Let's not pull them back and say, oh, how would you be such an idiot? And thinking, let's encourage them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm talking to myself as much here with this video because I had a morning yesterday, I was very angry, and that's fine. But if we truly are awakening, then we need to make sure that anger doesn't consume us. And if we find it's consuming us, we need to be aware enough to be able to notice that and then do something about it. Use anger sparingly. Let's direct it at the right time to the right people. Don't get me wrong, if we get into any heated debates with family or friends, absolutely, yeah, be heated, be passionate, argue, absolutely. But if we've got a choice to like really be that shining light and that example, you're the leaders. Once you've been red-pilled, you then have a responsibility. You can choose to just live in terror and fear then, and just curse the world and blame everyone else for not waking up. Yeah, you can do that. And I've fallen down that trap myself. Or you can say, right, this is our reality now. And if we're going to change our reality, the responsibility lies with us to do that. It is incumbent not on someone else, it's incumbent on us. It's incumbent on me, it's incumbent on you to take that full responsibility, walk through the fear of whatever it is you've got to do, and do it. And when people see you doing this over a long period of time, as I know they have done with me, eventually they start noticing. And you've provided that example to them. You've shown that leadership. You've woken them up. And there are millions more people in this country who are on the absolute verge now of taking that red pill. There are, I'm telling you, there are. Which is why there's hope, which is why there's optimism, and it's why it is dependent on us to not get dragged into that fear, to not get dragged into that paranoia. Yes, to debate and argue where we need to and show, but to live a life, a free life, to show that we are free, to show to people that we have bodily autonomy, to show to people that freedom is God-given, to show to people that these rights that we have are ours, not to be given and taken away by anybody. To live a life to show that coercion doesn't have to work. to live a life to show that the individual can stand strong against the moronic and dangerous group, to the point where those in that group awaken at one point and join us, to their credit. So that's what we need to remember. There is hope. Sometimes you wouldn't think it. You're spending all your time on Facebook and WhatsApp and Telegram and all the rest of it, because it's mostly negative. Sometimes you wouldn't think it. But what I see with my own eyes, just like what I see with my own eyes never correlates with what the media are telling us. What I see with my own eyes generally doesn't correlate with what many people in the awakened movement are saying. So come on, let's put all that behind us now. Let's go for it. Remain defiant, strong. Tell your side of the story, speak your truth, absolutely, keep doing it, but let's frame it through a positive, optimistic, altruistic, hopeful lens. Let's do it. I know that we can all do that. Many are. And like I say, I'm talking to myself as much as anyone else here. So that's my message for today. Let me know what you think. I hope this has had some kind of an impact on you. Please do subscribe to The Imperfect Individual, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.